The CASCAR Super Series is set to take the green flag for the 2005 racing season, starting right here with a 250-lap feature at the always exciting half-mile Delaware Speedway.
CASCAR, Canada's top touring series, begins a new season with 12 races spanning the country. There's no room for error. Slip up, and you've got a long road to climb. Succeed, and you'll find yourself in the chase for the CASCAR Cup. But you'd better race hard and smart, because four-time national champion Don Thompson Jr. isn't going to roll over gently. This is the CASCAR Super Series. Welcome to Delaware Speedway, just outside London, Ontario, as we get set to bring you the 12th edition of the Mopar 250. Hello, everyone. I'm Todd Lewis, along with Billy Rouse Jr. Adam Ross is with us trackside today. And Billy, the Mopar 250, the first race to kick off the schedule for the 2005 CASCAR season.
Todd, these late models will race on 10 different ovals, ranging from a high-speed 1/3 mile oval to a big, fast 5/8 mile oval, and then on to the permanent road course at Mosport, and then they turn around and go to the concrete cage at the Toronto Molson Indy. Points are at a premium, and this series is anything like last year. The driver who claims the championship will be the one making the fewest mistakes.
Certainly right there. It has been a busy offseason for a lot of these teams, a lot of new machinery built, and plenty of off-season testing. And hot off the presses, some of the headlines leading into the weekend race include the launch of the new Charger from Dodge and powered by Mopar. The Charger replaces the Intrepid, which Mopar teams have been running since 2001. The CASCAR Charger is an exact replica of the Dodge Street version that's built at the Daimler Chrysler plant in Brampton, Ontario. Mark Dilley has traded in his number 64 blue colors and replaced them with the red number 9, while young Brad Graham switches from GM to Dodge with his number 19 Charger. In other CASCAR news, Canada's Top Flight Series has joined forces with NASCAR to form a strategic alliance between the two sanctioning bodies. NASCAR is establishing roots in the Canadian racing market, and NASCAR's Director of Canadian Operations, Richard Buck, likes what he sees.
I got to say, it's some of the best, most competitive racing that we've seen. These guys go wheel to wheel, door to door for 50, 60 laps at a time. Very competitive, very professional. It's just a pleasure to be associated with.
The future of Canadian short track racing looks even brighter with both CASCAR and NASCAR working for a common goal. Our final headline reads, Thompson's Drive for 5. Donnie Thompson has had a stranglehold on the CASCAR Championship for 4 seasons. The number 4 home hardware driver has been a tyrant behind the wheel, capturing championship after championship. Hamilton, Ontario racer set the bar in Canadian motorsports over the past 6 years by winning a total of 6 CASCAR championships. And Billy, Thompson's consistency has put a virtual target on his back and on his bumper. The main question is, who's up to the task in denying Thompson a 5th national CASCAR crown?
Well, Thompson will be tough again this year, Todd. He just doesn't show any weaknesses in his program. But I know Peter Gibbons and that Canadian Tire team will be all geared up. New in-house chassis, and Gibbons has locked himself again in that dyno room down south. Mopar's Ron Beauchamp Jr., always tough. Dad's built some more horsepower, somewhere in the neighborhood of 525 horsepower underneath the hood. Dave Whitlock's just been chomping at the bit, waiting to get that new Charger on the racetrack.
Another of the new cars that will be up front today is the Castrol Dodge of DJ Kennington. DJ making his 116th consecutive start here today, giving him the new Ironman status. The previous Ironman, Kerry Mix, has been the busiest this offseason with a grueling testing schedule in his Power Water Taurus. The first points of the season gathered up yesterday in time trials. Don Thompson Jr., a familiar sight out front in the number 4 home hardware Chevy, his 23rd Mopar Pole Award, a time of 19.534 seconds, a little over 92 miles an hour. Adam Ross, welcome back. He's standing by.
Thanks, Todd. It's great to be here for the opener of what should be a very exciting season. Donnie, you got your Drive for 5 off to a great start with the pole position today. What's your plan for this afternoon?
Yeah, we'll probably take it easy, try to save the tires, of course. Home hardware Chevy's running pretty good. We'll see what happens.
Well, when we return, Donnie Thompson and 29 other CASCAR late model drivers get set to take the green flag in the Mopar 250 at Delaware Speedway.
The Mopar 250 from Delaware Speedway is brought to you by Castrol GTX, maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. Mopar, authentic performance. Power Water, distilled oxygenated water. And by the Days Inn, London, Ontario. You'll love us. you'll really love us. National anthems have just been completed. Let's send it down to Pearl Davies from the Dodge division of Daimler Chrysler for those special words.
Drivers, start your engine!
Don Thompson Jr. takes his home hardware Chevrolet from the pole position in this afternoon's 250-lap grind. On the outside of the front row is the always competitive Dave Whitlock in the Avenue Motor Works 39 Dodge. Kerry Mix did a ton of testing this winter in hopes that the Power Water Ford will make it to victory lane this afternoon. And perhaps the surprise of the top four is John Fitzpatrick in the Latta Crane Services 14. Ran a limited schedule last year. He's taken off from the outside of the second row.
Thanks, Adam. Okay, Billy, here's a look at our top contender in the Power Water rookie race. That's Tara McLeod. Tara, the fifth woman to pilot a CASCAR racer, and does so with the help of Central Merchant Services.
Well, Todd, that car is out of the Kerry Mix Motorsports shop with Damon Sharp acting as crew chief.
There's a couple of the onboard looks that we'll have today. We're looking right out the front of the Challenger Logos Auto Parts Charger of Brad Graham. Craig Hill pulling away in the Dodge Viper pace car. It means it's time for the Addo starting grid. On the pole, Don Thompson Jr., the home hardware Chevy, Dave Whitlock, the Avenue NMT Dodge alongside. Second row, John Fitzpatrick. On the outside of Kerry Mix in the Power Water Taurus, Pete Shepard, another good qualifying effort in the Addo Dodge. DJ Kennington in his 116th start alongside. Pete Gibbons, the Canadian Tire Chevy, and Brad Graham make up row number 4. It's Mark Dilley in the new colors and J.R. Fitzpatrick in row number 5. Row number 6, Dave Jacobs, the Lou's Barbecue Taurus, and Jeff Lapsevich alongside him. Doug Brown back for another season in the Napa car, along with Ron Sheridan making this start at Delaware today. Sean Stafford, the Ellie Walker Transport Chevrolet, and Brian Cathcart returning full-time to the series. Jim Lapsevich on the inside of row number 9, and Joe Gonzalez gets the start today here as well. Bob Merrifield and Kenny Forth make up row number 10 of the Addo starting grid. On the inside of row 11, longtime Delaware campaigner Steve Robley, and on the outside, Stu Robinson Jr. Matty Sumaris, the rookie, on the inside of row 12, and Ron Van Ness, who plans to participate in the full series outside. There's the rookie, Tara McLeod, and Chad McGlynn at row number 13. Row 14, Mark Swain in the GE Nighthawk Chevy, Marv Wilder to the outside. Scott Steckley at the back, and Ron Beauchamp Jr., the 30th starting spot because of a problem in qualifying.
Well, I'll tell you, Todd, usually don't see those two guys at the back. Scott Steckley changed the motor, and Beauchamp's Charger was just a hair too low going through tech. Now we'll take a look at the Logos Auto Parts race analysis. 30 cars will take the green flag on this half-mile oval today, 250 laps, $76,000 up for grabs.
Well, it's a special day for DJ Kennington in the Castrol Dodge as he becomes the new CASCAR Ironman.
Well, let's get him on the radio and see how things are going. DJ Kennington, this is Billy Rouse in the tower. Do you read me?
Yeah, I got you, Billy.
DJ, it's 116 consecutive starts here today. Way to go, kid. You're the new Iron Man.
Yeah, you know, it's been a long time coming, but feels like yesterday we just started this thing, and maybe we can break this Delaware curse here early, and maybe the new Iron Man get a win here at Delaware in the Castrol Dodge.
Well, DJ, good luck today.
Thanks, pal. We'll need it.
We just had a quick look at Kerry Mix, who'll become the ex-Ironman. His record of 115 consecutive starts falls here today.
Well, Mixie calls DJ the Iron Kid. Not a bad accomplishment for a young fella, 27 years old.
Yeah, DJ's been racing here at Delaware since he was 15. A lot of track championships, but he's never won a Super Series race here at his home track.
Well, being at your home track and winning a Super Series race at that home track means a bunch to these local guys who live and breathe racing.
I was on board with Ron Beauchamp Jr. at the back of the pack, getting ready for the start. Green flag just about set to wave. Scott Gungel is the honorary starter, chosen from a random draw with the Windsor Star. Gets set for 250 laps of racing at Delaware Speedway.
Ah, the sound of CASCAR horsepower, 500 horsepower plus, down into turn 1. And as usual, it's Don Thompson Jr. down to the bottom in that home hardware Chevrolet to hustle down the backstretch, Todd.
Dave Whitlock finding a hole right in back of Thompson. He settles into second, and there's Kerry Mix, though, knocking on the door right away, looking to pick up that second spot before the first lap is even over.
Oh, little Robbins racing, heading down into the corner. Mixie toughs it out through the bottom, takes a spot from Whitlock.
All right, there's John Fitzpatrick, who's kind of the stuck in the middle sandwich at the moment between Pete Shepard and DJ Kennington looking at the outside. And hey, there's Gibbons already trying to make a move up towards the front. Pete Gibbons running that low line out of corner number 4 that we've seen so many times.
Todd, home-built horsepower side by side. Peter Gibbons builds his own motors out of Mooresville, and Doug Kennington out of London, Ontario builds the horsepower for that number 17 Castrol Dodge.
There we see the cars streaming through again. There's Mark Dilley in that brand new Dodge Charger. He's got the inside of DJ Kennington ready to pick up a spot and now has his sights set on that Peter Gibbons Chevrolet.
Well, it is the Mopar 250. Oh, we got one around backwards. It's McGlynn in turn 3.
That's Chad McGlynn in the Ultimate Garage Taurus that has it spun in corner number 3, and everything gets slowed down for the first time here at Delaware Speedway in the opening event. Marv Wilder with a bit of damage as well. As we go to commercial break, let's have a look at the Power Water Top 5. We'll clean up the damage and get ready for a restart when we come back. Welcome back to Delaware Speedway. Green flag in the air for a restart here on lap 10. Home hardware machine of Don Thompson leading the Power Water Taurus of Mix into corner 1.
Good tight racing in the top 3 there. Got the lap car McGlynn up there in the way, but he'll get through here in a minute.
Kerry Mix following Don Thompson. Dave Whitlock chasing both of them down. Pete Gibbons in front of Pete Shepard. Last year this role was reversed and Gibbons helped the youngster out of the way a couple of times, Billy.
Well, Gibbons is a pretty good guy, but he'll help you in either way he can. That was a brand new race car he brought to Delaware this weekend. Really didn't like how fast it was. Rolled out Old Faithful here, and it's running just fine in the early going.
DJ Kennington closing in on the back of Mark Dilley and pushing John Fitzpatrick to the outside. That's Brad Graham in another Dodge Charger chasing down DJ Kennington looking for a spot.
On board looking out the back at DJ Kennington's car there. Fitzpatrick gets really close up off the corner, but DJ's horsepower helps him down the straightaway.
Here we go on board with the 9th place position car, Brad Graham in the Challenger Motor Freight Logos Auto Parts Dodge Charger, trying to push John Fitzpatrick out high, take that 8th spot, and then set his sights on DJ Kennington. Again, that Chad McGlynn lap car is also causing a few problems.
Big lead on the 4th place car.
Well, you hear the spotters tell their drivers they got lots of room. That lap car McGlynn has allowed the top 3 to break away from the next 4 fast race cars.
Real tight racing among the top 3 contenders. Don Thompson Jr. still up front. Bit of a gap. And then the next 4 cars. Pete Gibbons being hounded by the youngster. And again, there's some tight racing up front. And Kerry Mix looks like he's ready to move up front. And yeah, he's trying to get the lap sled points as well, Billy.
Well, look, I was just going to say going down the backstretch that Mix's car looked a little stronger on corner entry. And he gets in a little harder than what Donnie Thompson did. Give him a little nerve to get by. Nothing malicious, just good, hard racing.
Thompson staying to the outside. Dave Whitlock also trying to pick up another spot, and Don Thompson's going to let those two fight it out and go. Now Whitlock looks like he wants to lead a lap.
Well, just good tight racing up front. Little rubbins racing. A little history between these guys, too. They're not shy of giving each other the horn when need be.
Which two would that be? All 3 of those guys have had their run-ins in the past couple of years.
Well, when you run up front as much as these guys do, you're going to run into each other now and then.
Kerry Mix continues to lead the top 3 as he crosses the stripe to put another lap. Dave Whitlock with a bit of a peek up the inside. This is the battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. The youngster, Pete Shepard Jr., maybe a little more aggressive in his sophomore year. He's having a peek up the inside of Gibbons, trying to pick up that 4th spot.
Gibbons is about to get ambushed by them 3 Dodges, that's for sure. Peter's got to wait on that car just a little bit coming up off the corner, and that allows that Addo Dodge to get right tight to the bumper.
Great onboard shot from Pete Shepard Jr.'s Addo Dodge. He's looking high, he's looking low, but can't find his way around Pete Gibbons just yet.
Hustling down into turn 3. Patience is a virtue right now. This is a long race as we take a look at the 22 and the 3 racing hard here at Delaware.
22, of course, started in the back row, had that engine change that you talked about earlier, Billy, but Scott Steckley in the All Truck International Pontiac is having a pretty good run here this afternoon. And there's Ron Beauchamp Jr., who's also picked up a lot of spots from the start.
Ronnie Beauchamp Jr. doing a good job hustling that Mopar car to the front here today. Oh, gives Gonzalez a little bump coming through there. We got the 18 car, McGlynn. He's a lap car and kind of holding these guys up. We'll see what happens here in traffic.
Ron Beauchamp Jr. is now trying the outside after knocking on the back door of Joe Gonzalez. He gets through, and McGlynn is waving him to the outside, and now he's got in the sandwich.
Oh, 3 wide into turn 3. Gonzalez rubs on McGlynn a little bit. McGlynn comes up tight. Oh, he spins him. Payback from a lap car.
They pile up coming out of corner number 4 as everybody starts to get woed down, and we have Ron Van Ness in the number 11 acting as a jack stand for the number 3 car.
We've seen CASCAR sneak through on the top side unscathed, but the 3 car there just jacked up in the back. They'll have to bring a tow truck up and lift that thing off.
Stu Robinson Jr. not going anywhere anytime soon. Back wheels off the ground in the Snap-on Tools Dodge, and Ron Van Ness stuck underneath him as well. It's going to take a little time to get this one cleaned up.
Oh, look at the Mopar replay, and there it is. McLean clearly into the back of Gonzalez, spins around, stacks him up, boom, underneath the car of Stu Robinson.
Under caution once again as the Delaware safety crew is there to clean up Stu Robinson Jr. and Ron Van Ness. And have a look at the Power Water Ford of Kerry Mix out front, leading the Mopar 250 here at Delaware. Welcome back. We're on board with the Power Water Taurus of our leader, Kerry Mix. He's getting ready to take the green flag here at Delaware Speedway for the restart of the Mopar 250.
Down the front stretch under green, Mixie gets a great jump heading for turn 1. Thompson's off the pace a little bit. He's lost 5 or 6 car lengths to the leaders.
Dave Whitlock does manage to clear the lap traffic of Chad McGlynn, so Don Thompson Jr. along with Peter Gibbons now trying to filter their way around the outside of that lap traffic, but Kerry Mix set and sail. Dave Whitlock with sights set on his rear bumper.
Come in next time and watch your speed. Go right up to the end of pit road and stop.
Oh, somebody's getting a stop and go penalty. We'll have to see who that is.
Kerry Mix out front. There's Dave Whitlock again in the Avenue NMT Dodge, headed for corner number 1, putting another lap on the books and putting a little bit of space between Don Thompson Jr. Is Donnie just letting them go, or is he just taking his time getting around that traffic and now setting sail?
Well, you don't win 4 championships by being over-aggressive. Donnie will just ride this race out and let it come to him.
Static up at the front of the field. It's Chad McGlynn, by the way, who got the black flag penalty for spinning Joe Gonzalez. He answered that penalty, and that's why he's out in front of the leaders again, but giving them plenty of room to make their way around the outside this time as they head into corner number 3. J.R. Fitzpatrick in 10th. He's being chased by the number 19 Challenger Motor Freight Locals Auto Parts Dodge of Brad Graham coming off corner number 4.
And only 2 spots behind him, there's Dad in the Latta Cranes 14.
Some good side-by-side racing there between Jim Lapsovich and John Fitzpatrick. This is the battle for 13th. Jim Lapsovich, a slightly different look to that Chevy this year. Looks like a pretty quick car, and Ron Beauchamp Jr. also sticking his nose in it.
Well, a little loose up off the corner gives Beauchamp a chance. Oh, and Lapsovich and Beauchamp get together down the straightaway.
Billy, you mentioned a bit earlier that Ron Beauchamp Jr. was being pretty aggressive, charging from the back of the pack, and here as we go on board, we get a look at him working that wheel and not really sawing on it too much. That Mopar Parts Charger seems to be handling pretty well.
Yeah, I like to look at those hands going down the straightaway, and as they turn off into the corner, Todd, his hands are really quiet. That means that car is hooked up.
Ron Beauchamp Jr. gets the spot. Troubles earlier with the number 3 car. Let's go down to Adam in the pits.
Stu, not the way you wanted to start 2005. What happened out there?
Just a couple guys got into spinning each other in front of us, and I kind of wanted to go low, but there was someone beside me, someone on the high side, so I just locked her up and ended up getting into it. So nothing we can do about it. Took the rad out, so the guys are going to, Snap-on Tools guys are going to replace the rad as the fast we can and get back out there.
Dave Whitlock with a hard charge into corner number 1, completes the pass out of 2, takes the spot from Kerry Mix, a new leader, and Thompson having a look up the inside now.
Well, I told you be nice and patient. You don't win 4 championships by being over-aggressive, but when the hole opens, Donnie Thompson will go through it.
Whitlock created the hole, Thompson followed through, and now Kerry Mix in the Power Water Taurus seems to be falling back just a little bit from those 2 front contenders, and yes, Pete Gibbons is catching him.
Now Peter Gibbons looking on the bottom side. He's bringing in those 2 Dodge Chargers right behind him. As Mixie's probably just saving the tires a little bit. It's only 40 laps into this race. It's not time to run the right rear off it yet.
Mark Dilley trying to go up the inside of the youngster Pete Shepard Jr. in the Addo Dodge, but he fends him off for another lap. Pete Gibbons very aggressive now on the back bumper of Kerry Mix. I know you think he might be saving it, but I wonder if there's a bit of a problem with Mixie.
Well, it's a little early to tell, Todd, but he's certainly not running the same race pace that he was early on, that's for sure.
Cars behind Kerry Mix certainly have caught up and now putting a little bit of extra pressure on the Power Water Taurus. The Canadian Tire Chevy of Pete Gibbons, followed by Shepard and Dilley. There we see Doug Brown behind the wall. Tough break for him out early in this one.
It's tough for the Napa team. They run the whole series except for the West, and they're hoping to have a good run here today to attract some sponsorship so they can make that Western swing.
Kerry Mix has fallen back a little bit from the 2 front contenders in 3rd. Gibbons, Shepard, and Mark Dilley all followed closely by DJ Kennington. Thompson having a little bit of a look on Whitlock now as they come up on some lap traffic. That's Mark Swain who's missing the hood on that GE Nighthawk Chevy.
Mark Swain just running a short schedule this year, trying to attract enough money to run the whole show. He'll be at the 2 road courses, that's for sure, Todd.
Whitlock and Thompson going to the outside of Swain. Back in the pack, a battle for 5th place as Mark Dilley is looking on the inside of Pete Shepard and gets the spot, bringing DJ Kennington in the Castrol Dodge through as well.
Well, those 2 Chargers running side by side give Peter Gibbons a bit of a break. He'd been seeing nothing but red in his mirror for the last 30 or 40 laps as those 2 Chargers hounded him early on.
That's just a different color of red now that's chasing down Peter Gibbons as we have a little bit of shuffling back in the pack. That's J.R. Fitzpatrick chasing Jeff Lapsovich. Dave Jacobs now being quickly caught by Ron Beauchamp Jr. in the Mopar Parts Dodge.
Well, the Lou's Barbecue car about to get attacked by the 60 of Ron Beauchamp for 10th spot.
The attack coming from the outside. Just ahead, that's Jeff Lapsovich in the 23 battling J.R. Fitzpatrick for 8th spot. Nice job there by Jeff going around the outside and around the lap car of Tara McLeod.
Buddy, you lost the lap traffic.
Well, Jeff Lapsovich done a wonderful job of using the lap car as a pick to put J.R. Fitzpatrick back in position.
Lap traffic just ahead of the leaders. Kerry Mix getting a little bit of pressure from Pete Gibbons, who's getting plenty of heat now from 2 Dodges. That's Mark Dilley on the outside and DJ Kennington trying the inside.
Well, DJ did a great job of backing out of trouble there. He was going to be on the bottom of a 3 deep coming off of turn 4, and that doesn't work here at Delaware Speedway.
Having a look at that battle now from on board Pete Shepard Jr. in the Addo Dodge, and Pete Gibbons has 3 of them right behind, and he's doing a good job of holding off those 3 Dodges in a row. Dave Whitlock also starting to work some of that lap traffic. He goes to the inside of Sean Stafford and Don Thompson Jr. following him through.
Well, there's a pair of cars out of the Dave Dodaro camp running side by side, the number 42 and the number 20.
Pete Gibbons still trying to hold off the bevy of Dodges. Here's another one who's been moving up through the field. It's the battle for 10th still going on between Dave Jacobs and Ron Beauchamp Jr. in the Mopar Parts Dodge. Still working that outside, Billy. He's really found something in the handling, and he's been able to move smoothly through the corners and pick up a lot of ground. As we go on board with another of the Dodge Chargers, that's Brad Graham, who's right behind Ron Beauchamp Jr.
Well, I'm sure Brad Graham's really enjoying that Mopar horsepower. Changed that car over from a Pontiac to a Dodge and really running well here today at Delaware Speedway.
Back up front, that's Dave Whitlock feeling a little bit of heat now from Don Thompson Jr. There's Whitlock's longtime crew chief Warren Jones looking on as his driver leads the Mopar 250. Dave Whitlock in the Avenue NMT Dodge leading Don Thompson here at Delaware, but trouble for an early leader. Adam Ross is watching Kerry Mix.
Early race leader Kerry Mix brings the Power Water Ford into the pits. Oil pressure light on the Power Water machine as they pull the hood up. Also a tire going down, so 2 problems at once for Kerry Mix.
Mix with new crew chief Ray Razor McCaughey and the rest of the team going to work to try to correct those problems, Billy.
Well, they're underneath the hood to see if the belt's still on. Obviously, the belt's still on. They put the hood back down.
You got a whole straightaway on the 3rd place car. Tons of room.
Well, that's Sandy Hamilton on the radio telling his driver, Donnie Thompson, he's got lots of room. Concentrate on that guy in front of him.
Dave Whitlock leading Don Thompson up front. They're trying to make their way around the lap car of Ron Van Ness, putting him another lap down. And Thompson putting a little extra pressure on Whitlock now coming out of corner number 2.
Well, obviously, Donnie Thompson's car is starting to come to him, like I said early on. Patience and perseverance, that's how you win championships here in CASCAR.
Pete Gibbons holding off Mark Dilley in the battle for 3rd spot, and a few more adjustments now on the Power Water Taurus.
Well, there's a guy inside pouring some oil back in the reservoir. And now it's DJ Kennington.
If we got a broken spring or something. Well, I don't know what it is, Dad. It's dead. It sounds dead when you go by. Something's wrong with it.
They've diagnosed that there's some sort of problem, DJ Kennington and his father Doug, but not sure what it is, but that Castrol Dodge definitely slipping back in the field.
Todd, it certainly sounds flat down the straightaway, Todd. They'll have to get that thing on pit road to see what the problem is.
Adam Ross is investigating with the Castrol team.
Shane Harrison, your day might have turned sour early. What's happened to the power plant in the Castrol Dodge?
Right now he's reporting a vibration and it seems to be getting a little worse. We're not sure right at the moment if we might have cracked an exhaust or if it's motor problems. So we're kind of riding it out and see what happens.
Now there's talk that it could be a plug wire, could be a carburetor problem. How long will that take to fix?
It depends on what the problem is, but if we can fix it, we'll be back out. So.
Well, hopefully it's something simple like a plug wire. You can get at them fairly easily and change them up. But if it's a valve spring or a carburetor problem, it could be the end of the day.
Dave Whitlock, Don Thompson Jr. both making their way through the lap traffic. It's Dave Whitlock holding on up front. And I don't know if you're a fan of numerology, Billy, but the 39 car of Whitlock picked up the lead on lap 39. Could be a good sign.
All things happen for a reason, even at the racetrack, Todd.
It's a large gap back to the third place fight between Pete Gibbons and Mark Dilley in that brand new number 9 Dodge Charger, who's putting a little bit of pressure on him. Back in 5th spot, that's Pete Shepard in the Addo Dodge, Jeff Lapsevich 6th, J.R. Fitzpatrick 7th, and Ron Beauchamp Jr. all the way up to the 8th spot now from starting last in the pack as we see Kerry Mix go behind the wall.
Well, obviously it must be terminal. Oh, Lapsevich into the back of Marv Wilder, and around he goes as DJ Kennington head down pit road.
Don Thompson Jr. looking at the inside, but the caution flag is waving. The pass won't get completed this time around, but yes, we see DJ Kennington held on as long as he could, but he is coming to the attention of the Castrol crew.
DJ Kennington brings the Castrol Dodge to the pits and kills the engine as the crew goes to work under the hood.
Well, that's Doug Kennington on the right-hand side there, sticking his head down, having a look at the spark plug wires on the driver's side. Doug builds those motors, and there he is. He's talking on the radio to DJ.
Usually very reliable power from the Kennington Motorsports shop, and Doug Kennington conferring now with son DJ, who's behind the wheel trying to get a handle on what's going on. A big honor for Doug Kennington a little bit earlier this year, his induction into the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame. It was this past January at the 2004 Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame induction ceremonies that CASCAR car owner and engine builder Doug Kennington was inducted for his accomplishments in racing in southwestern Ontario.
Well, Doug back in the 60s was a big drag racer at St. Thomas Dragway, and at one point was instrumental in helping maintain and build it to what it is today.
They're a very close family, very proud of each other's accomplishments, and right now, Doug and DJ are trying to diagnose the problems on the Castrol Dodge.
The Lou's Barbecue 88 on pit road for a routine stop, get fuel and a right rear tire.
That's Jim Lapsevich coming in as well. Routine service on the right side, couple of right side tires. Billy Knowles and the crew going to work. And the 71 of Brian Cathcart back full-time this year, also with routine service. Here's a look at the Power Water Top 5. We'll be back for the restart. Welcome back to round number 1 of the 2005 CASCAR Super Series. Getting set to take the green, Dave Whitlock leads the field into corner number 1 at Delaware Speedway, followed by Don Thompson Jr. and Pete Gibbons as we restart on lap 88.
The lead lap car has got to clear those lap cars down on the bottom. CASCAR rules, lap cars to the bottom on all restarts, so it takes a few laps to get everybody running single file up front, but the top 3 have broke away.
That's Mark Dilley in the number 9 Dodge Charger, who's trying to chase down those front 3 and improve his position. As we get a look at the speed shot along the back straight, rest of the cars also making their way through the lap traffic. Don Thompson Jr. sawing on that wheel a little harder than we normally see him, Billy. He's fighting off Gibbons behind him.
Well, the car looks a little bit loose up off the corner. He took a look in the mirror looking for Gibbons, but Gibbons was down the bottom taking a peek.
One of the early leaders already behind the wall, Adam Ross, is with Kerry Mix.
Kerry, you had such a strong car to start out today. What happened?
I don't know. It looks like Power Water Ford oil pump went, but we're not 100% sure here. Just I seen the red light come on there, so I'm not going to wreck the motor. It's stupid to run a couple more laps just to hurt the motor. So hopefully it's just the oil pump's gone bad, but we don't know. We won't know that until we get started up here.
Kerry Mix and the team looking on and trying to make some repairs as we now peek at the battle for 13th. That's Jim Lapsevich in the 25 Tim Horton Chevy challenging John Fitzpatrick. Also getting a look from behind of the 50 Addo Dodge of Pete Shepard.
On board with Pete, get a good look at this battle down the front stretch, heading into turn 1. He's trying to pick him in behind that lap car. Can't quite get the job done as John Fitzpatrick slides up the hill, and he'll try and get through on the bottom of him as well.
Pete Shepard was one of the cars that did make a stop as well during that last caution period for service, so a little bit fresher tires on the Addo Dodge as he makes his way through as well, and now trying to get up the inside of Jim Lapsevich as well.
Oh, the spotter could have get him a hole there. If he'd have moved up the racetrack, he'd have pinched Fitzpatrick in behind him. He's still going to get up around the top side of Merrifield heading down the backstretch.
Back up front, it's Dave Whitlock continuing to lead Don Thompson Jr., Pete Gibbons in the Canadian Tire Chevy right behind, and Mark Dilley in the number 9 Dodge has also charged up. Mark Dilley looks like he's sliding a little bit coming out of some of those corners, Billy.
Oh, the car's a little bit loose off the corner, but here at Delaware Speedway, loose is fast as long as you keep the right rear on the car all day long.
On board the Avenue NMT Dodge, looking out the back and looking at the challenger, Don Thompson Jr., who had a bit of a peek up the inside and is continuing to look, but doesn't want to force the issue yet. Still an awful lot of laps to run.
That's right, Todd, and they've yet to make their pit stop here in CASCAR. At least a one-stop race here at the Mopar 250.
A little further back in the pack, that's Scott Steckley, who has made a nice charge from the last row on the starting grid all the way up into the top 10, currently running in the 7th spot, and a good run for Scott Steckley to come all the way from the back so quickly.
Well, there's a look out the front. 17, DJ Kennington, 4 laps down, got that thing repaired and is running pretty strong. But as I say, 4 laps down here at Delaware Speedway.
Brad Graham in the Challenger Motor Freight, Logos Auto Parts Dodge, also had a strong start to this race, but he seems to be slipping back as well as we watch Steve Robley going up the inside and Brad Graham slowly drifting back.
Well, that car is not quite handling the way he'd like it. Also, we have a report that the car has a slight vibration in it as well, Todd.
We'll keep an eye on that and see how long Brad Graham can hold on. Back up front, it's the top 4 running nose to tail. Mark Dilley putting a bit of a challenge now on the number 1 of Peter Gibbons and trying to push him a little harder as they head into corner number 3. Gibbons continues to hold off Mark Dilley. Up front, it's Dave Whitlock and Don Thompson Jr., who have a bit of a space now between themselves and that 3rd place battle between Gibbons and Mark Dilley.
Dilley just looks a little stronger up off the corner, and there's the 19 Logos Dodge Charger in the pit having a look at that vibration. Oh, and around goes Lapsevich on the front stretch.
Caution flag is out as Jim Lapsevich is trying to get the Tim Horton Chevy turned back around and pointed in the right direction as the rest of the field begins to slow up. Jimmy's got to go in the right way, and we are under caution. Dave Whitlock slowed down as well.
Well, it appeared the Lapsevich went around all by himself coming off at turn 4. The car just not quite handling to his liking as the leaders head for pit road. CASCAR rules, Todd, 1 2-tire stop up to lap 200 or 1 tire per caution as you like.
As we watch the field come in, we'll wait and see who's taking 2 or who's going to wait and see if there are more caution flags. Let's go down to Adam Ross, who's watching the action on pit road.
Don Thompson brings the Home Hardware Chevrolet to the attention of his crew. Right side tires, the order of business. Peter Gibbons in the pits at the same time. A pair of right side tires as well. Apparently no chassis adjustments on either of these 2 cars. And Mark Dilley wins the race off pit road, followed by Ron Beauchamp.
Giulio Montanari has that team in mid-season form for Mark Dilley. Ron Beauchamp follows him out, but hey, Dave Whitlock decided not time to pit yet. He stayed out. We'll be back for the restart. Welcome back. There's a good look at the Dodge Charger Daytona edition. We're at our own Daytona here, Delaware Speedway, just outside London, Ontario. Billy, Dave Whitlock, the only one of the leaders who stayed out during that last caution period. He's set to lead him back to green. What's the strategy?
Well, I'll tell you, if it goes green for a long time, he's in trouble because I told you about the rules in CASCAR. 1 2-tire stop up to lap 200, 4 under green, and 1 tire per caution period under normal circumstances. So we'll see what shakes out here as Dave Whitlock rolls the dice.
Puts a little space between himself and the 2nd place car of J.R. Fitzpatrick with that Steve Robley, the veteran, looking up the inside and rubbing fenders with the youngster.
Well, I'll tell you, if there's anybody that's Mr. Delaware, it's Steve Robley. I can't count the number of championships and the number of features he's won here at Delaware Speedway.
Another sophomore driver, Pete Shepard in the Addo Dodge, moving up the inside to take a position. That's Mark Dilley in the number 9 Dodge Charger as well, who's also on the back of J.R. Fitzpatrick.
Boy, those Dodges have been tough today, haven't they, Todd?
Little touch from Dilley going through 1 into 2, moving the youngster aside, and Ron Beauchamp Jr. continues to have a strong run in the Mopar Parts Dodge. He's right on Dilley's back bumper now.
Oh, riding on board with Ronnie Beauchamp. You enlist that motor, haul him down the back stretch. His hands are still nice and quiet on that steering wheel. That car is hooked up.
Four-time champion Don Thompson Jr. a little further back in the pack. He's followed closely by Pete Gibbons, and Steve Robley has now set his sights on Dave Whitlock heading down into corner one. Steve Robley doesn't run a lot of Super Series races, Billy, but whenever he does, especially at Delaware, he always seems to be a contender.
Well, he definitely is a really good runner here at Delaware Speedway, and he's taking a shot at Whitlock here today.
Ron Beauchamp Jr. moving inside of Pete Shepard in the Addo Dodge. Remember, Ron Beauchamp Jr. forced to start last because of a technical violation in post-qualifying inspection, moving now up in towards the top 5. A very strong run for this team.
Well, Todd, I think we're starting to see those fresh tires. Those guys got tires on the last stop. I'm not sure if it was 1 or 2, but they certainly are on the march to the front, chasing down Dave Whitlock.
Don Thompson Jr. just ahead of Pete Gibbons. The 52 car of Ron Sheridan also in that fight for 8th position right now. Ron Sheridan, a regular Delaware runner, also runs select Super Series events. Dave Whitlock out front, but it's Steve Robley and a host of other challengers on fresher tires that have run him down. And Billy, it's probably only a matter of time before Whitlock starts to slip back.
Well, you know, they are faster right now on them fresher tires, but the good thing for Whitlock is all the pressure that Dilly is putting on Robley is letting Whitlock get a car length or 2 ahead, even on those worn tires.
That's what the leader likes to see. The contenders behind him all fighting one another allows him to get a little bit of space. It's Ron Beauchamp Jr. who's right on the bumper of Mark Dilly as well. A slightly lower line heading through turn number 2. And Ron Beauchamp Jr. looking to climb up even further. A terrific run in that Mopar Parts Dodge. Great onboard shot there from the cockpit of Ron Beauchamp Jr. And as we see again, not shuffling those hands a lot. We're able to run smoothly through those corners, whether it's on the low side or up a little higher.
Well, Dilly's giving him the outside there, but I don't think that's the fast way around right now. You got to get to the bottom here at Delaware as that outside gets a little slick as the rubber gets put down. Robley to the inside, having a good look. Willie driving in. Oh, a little tag job there. And Dilly to the outside, going to try and pinch Robley down there, but the car gets loose up off the corner. Here comes Beauchamp to the bottom. He's going to have a look.
Looking high, looking low. Steve Robley to the inside. Mark Dilly and Ron Beauchamp Jr. on the outside now as they head towards the stripe. It's still Robley, but great fighting between those 3 Dodges because Pete Shepard in the Addo Dodge has also moved up now into 5th, and those 3 are fighting amongst themselves, and Dave Whitlock is loving every second of it.
Well, that's for sure, Todd. As we said earlier, the more they fight, the easier it is on him. They're on fresher tires, but in about 20 laps, those tires will equalize and not be part of the equation anymore.
A little further back, that's Dave Jacobs in the Lou's Barbecue Taurus, and Jim Lapsevich to the inside, a little fender rubbing as Jimmy Lapsevich is looking for 10th spot and moves Dave Jacobs and brings his brother in the 23 Tim Horton Chevy with him.
Oh, one brother opens the door and the other one comes through it. There we see DJ Kennington. He's laps down back out on the racetrack. Kerry Mix as well. Dilly getting pressure for Beauchamp on the bottom. Beauchamp gets the spot, heading for Steve Robley.
Strong move by Ron Beauchamp Jr. and the Mopar Parts Dodge Charger. Pete Shepard in the Addo Dodge also taking advantage of Dilly being out on the high side. He moves up and takes 4th spot. Pete Shepard with a good strong run in that Addo Dodge as well, and both of them looking to put a little pressure on Steve Robley, and Mark Dilly can't get back down to the bottom side. J.R. Fitzpatrick having a look.
Oh, you've seen that Dodge horsepower down the backstretch, and here we got the Fitzpatrick Motorsports guys side by side. Donnie Thompson on the top, going to school the kid off of 4.
Donnie making the high side work. He makes the pass on teammate J.R. Fitzpatrick and is now looking ahead to that trio of Dodge Chargers to pick up a few more spots. Back up front, Dave Whitlock, followed by Robley, Ron Beauchamp Jr. as the CASCAR officials look on. Welcome back to Delaware Speedway. Just 10 laps ago, Steve Robley was hounding the number 39 of Dave Whitlock, but he's fallen back, and it's now the Mopar Parts Dodge Charger of Ron Beauchamp Jr., who has charged from the back of the pack and is looking for the lead.
Well, Todd, those 2 fresh tires are really starting to show up now as he's pressuring Whitlock for the lead. One thing I noticed about Beauchamp today, though, the car hasn't got loose on him. Historically, the last 2 or 3 years, the setup on that car, the car gets looser and looser as we go, but that car's staying tight, and he's in the fight.
Still a long way to go with a little over 100 laps remaining, but what a charge by Ron Beauchamp Jr. doing a great job handling that car and really not overusing his stuff as he knocks on the back door of Whitlock.
Just a small wake-up call there. You know, if you can't dodge it, ram it. But anyway, the charge into the front. Ronnie Beauchamp Jr. brings young Shepard with him. It's a change for the lead as we got a new leader in the Dodge, number 60 of Ron Beauchamp Jr.
All the way from back to front, Ron Beauchamp Jr. is the new leader. Pete Shepard in the Addo Dodge, another strong run for them as well. And he had some great success last year in his rookie season and looking for even more success in this, the sophomore year. Ron Beauchamp Jr. still nice and smooth with those hands, as we talked about earlier, Billy, handling that car very well.
Well, I'll tell you, them guys are going to have to hustle hard as Dilly comes under pressure from Donnie Thompson and that number 4 Home Hardware Chevrolet.
That's the battle for 4th spot, and Don Thompson in the Home Hardware Chevy takes it, gives a courtesy wave for Mark Dilly for allowing him to pass through the inside.
Well, let's go on board with Donnie here. Watch his hands. Pretty smooth up off the corner. Pretty relaxed in there, the veteran that he is.
Don Thompson Jr. with his sights set on the lead. Ron Beauchamp Jr. still the leader. In fact, has built up a 3-second lead now. Dave Whitlock has slipped back, and maybe that pit strategy of not coming in during that caution period is really starting to cost Whit as he slips a little further back in the field.
Whoa! He gets a little nerf from Donnie Thompson going in. That wasn't malicious. What you're getting to see now is the tires are starting to get worn on Whitlock's car. He has to lift early on corner entrance to keep the car underneath him. Thompson on the fresher tires drives right on in, gives him a little nerf job. Just racing. Davey's starting to pay for that non-pit stop deal early on.
Dilly has fresher tires as well, but doesn't get as big a fight from his teammate Dave Whitlock, and he goes through as well. Dave Whitlock will be hoping for a caution pretty soon, I would think, so he can make a stop and get those fresher tires and then get back up to fight with the leaders.
Boy, something that is pretty consistent right now. Take a look in the top 5 and look at all those Mopars here. Mopar 250, extra money from Dodge on this day if you can stay up front and finish on the podium.
Ron Beauchamp Jr. continues to build up that lead between the second place car of Pete Shepard in the Addo Dodge, up to about 3 seconds now as Ron Beauchamp Jr. has it on cruise control, clear track in front of him and clear track behind him, and he's happy to put those laps on the board and let the rest of the contenders fight amongst themselves behind him.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Beauchamp's paid the motel bill and checked out of the country. At this point, there's nobody even in the same zone as him right now.
Dave Whitlock continues to slip back just a little bit in that Avenue NMT Dodge. No pit stop earlier for fresh tires, so he is paying the price now as we see Pete Gibbons looking to the outside of Steve Robley. That's the battle for 8th position. Ron Sheridan in the 52 also looking to the outside and trying to put Robley a little further back.
We give a call to Ronnie Sheridan. Runs a partial Super Series schedule. United Carpet and Restoration Masters put all the money in that program.
Right behind Ron Sheridan, DJ Kennington in the Castrol Dodge. He's a few laps down because of earlier problems, but back out on the speedway trying to pick up as many points as possible. Back up front, that's Ron Beauchamp Jr., the Mopar Parts Charger. A lot of space now between he and the second place runner, Pete Shepard in the Addo Dodge, who has fallen into the clutches of Don Thompson Jr.
That car just could be struggling a little bit right now. Donnie Thompson caught him fairly easy and got around. You can see a little whisper of smoke out the back of that car. Could be having some troubles on the 50 Addo Dodge.
Don Thompson Jr., the new second place car. He takes the spot from Pete Shepard, heading down into corner number 1 with sight set on getting through that lap traffic and then heading out towards Ron Beauchamp Jr. Shepard losing another spot now as Mark Dilly in the Dodge Charger also moves to the inside and gets by him, and there's definitely something not quite right with that Addo Dodge as Pete Shepard continues to slip back. Whitlock back in front of him now.
Oh, you can really tell that car's laboring down the straightaway. You can't really tell by the in-car camera. The car's laboring, kind of gone flat. Should be looking at the gauges. He's pulling down the bottom. Definitely a problem with the power plant in that 50 Addo Dodge.
Pete Shepard continuing to labor and fall back in the field. That's the leader, Ron Beauchamp Jr. in the Mopar Parts Dodge. A huge 9-second lead right now over the second place runner. That's Don Thompson Jr., followed closely by Mark Dilly. And Pete Shepard has brought the car along the pit road. He pretty much had to do so.
Now we see some smoke coming out of the back there. That's blue smoke that definitely has an engine problem. All the crew's running down to get him. A little bit of help getting out. Obviously some fumes inside that race car. The engine has expired.
Yeah, a little bit hot under there. You see just a little bit of a flame out the exhaust on the right-hand side. And Pete sitting down, he's a little bit overcome by the fumes as well. Trying to shake it off. Pete Shepard out of the Addo Dodge, and his day done early. Looks so promising there, but obviously some sort of problem in the motor that just wouldn't go away.
Well, the young fellow is pretty much dejected. Team 3 Red crew members giving him a little drink of water there, and he'll be back to fight another day.
Here's the running order. 81 laps remaining. Ron Beauchamp Jr. continues to run out front. He's now trying to make his way through some lap traffic. A strong run from back to front for the Mopar Parts Charger. Ron Beauchamp Jr. started 30th, currently running first with a big gap back to the second place car of Don Thompson, followed by Mark Dilley in the Dodge Charger.
Beauchamp, really the class of the field right now, Todd. Oh, a little bumper tag. Lapsevich into the back of Fitzpatrick going into turn 3, trying to help him out a bit. That's a battle for 5th spot, Todd, with Gibbons right there looking for the spot as well.
Let's go down to Adam Ross, who's caught up with Pete Shepard.
Petey, you brought a brand new Dodge Charger to the races this weekend. What happened?
Well, it seemed like a bearing tightened up or something like that. For a long time, it was loading up, and it was killing some horsepower, and I think finally it decided to go. We had an oil line maybe leaking on the rear tire because it was getting me out of shape every so often, but I feel real bad for Team Addo and everyone who worked so hard to get this car done. You know, Mike gave me a great car. The engine had a ton of power before this happened. Stay cool in my new fire suit, and you know, just looking forward to next weekend.
That next event is the Whelen 200 as CASCAR makes the return to St. Eustache. Caution on the speedway. That's Marv Wilder that's turned around. Everybody else getting slowed down and tiptoeing around him.
Well, Todd, this is a big break for Whitlock. Those tires were really worn out. He needed to get to pit road. This is his break. That car will come down pit road and get some tires and fuel put in it to charge to the finish line here at the Mopar 250.
Sean Gibb waving the caution flag. Billy, let's go back and have a look at the Mopar replay to see what happened.
Well, it looks by the damage on the Swain vehicle that he must have gotten the back of Wilder, spun him around, and then somebody else got involved there at the end as well.
Just as you called it, Whitlock making his stop, and Mark Dilley also coming in for a new right rear tire as well.
I would take a look there. Whitlock definitely getting 2 right side tires. The Peter Gibbons #1 Chevrolet coming in. It looks like they're going to left side tires as Dilley comes off of pit road first.
Waiting to see who follows Mark Dilley. It's Don Thompson in the Home Hardware Chevy. Ron Beauchamp, though, continues to lead in the Mopar Charger. Welcome back to Delaware Speedway. The number 60 Mopar-powered Charger of Ron Beauchamp Jr. leads the 12th edition of the Mopar 250, and we're getting set for a restart.
Oh, on board with Ronnie there. Brings it down nice and slow. He's up in 3rd gear, up off the corner, accelerating it easy, reaching for the shifter, high gear, green flag into turn 1.
Trailing Ron Beauchamp Jr., the 25 of Jim Lapsevich, followed by Mark Dilley, who did make a pit stop for a new right rear tire there. Jim Lapsevich pitted early. He's done that in the past, Billy, and it's worked out pretty well for him on a couple of occasions.
Well, if you take care of your tires and equipment, you can pit early and save them tires and get yourself some track position. As everybody heads for pit road, you don't have to pass any cars.
180 down, 70 to go, and Ron Beauchamp Jr. starting to put a little bit of space between himself and the second place car of Lapsevich. Dilley looking to the outside, now the inside as he's trying to get around him and pick up that second position. Don Thompson Jr. also in the hunt.
Oh, that Mopar 9 is just a little bit too loose up off the corner, and he has to give way to Lapsevich. Donnie Thompson's going to fill that hole if he's not careful.
Don Thompson Jr. looking to the inside of Mark Dilley, and as they head down into turn number 3, he isn't quite got a full fender on him and gets caught behind the 88 Lou's Barbecue Taurus of Dave Jacobs.
Well, there's a veteran move. Dilley stuck Thompson in behind the lap car. He was getting some real hard pressure there on the inside the lap previous to that one.
Mark Dilley with the new colors this year and the Dodge Charger still out of the Whitlock stable, getting a little position now on Jim Lapsevich, and he's looking to make the move as they head down into turn number 3.
Oh, Lapsevich closes the door and gets a chrome horn. You got to pick a lane, Jimmy. You only need one. You got to give one up, and there he goes down the bottom.
Lapsevich forced to the outside. Don Thompson Jr. also moving up to take 3rd position now and keep Lapsevich to the outside. That's J.R. Fitzpatrick, who's also trying to follow his teammate up towards the front.
Oh, he drives it down into 3, catches the bump. They both slide up the racetrack. Inside's the preferred groove later on in the race, and there he gets the spot off of turn 4.
Very nice move by J.R. Fitzpatrick using the racetrack. And again, Ron Beauchamp Jr. out front, loving it that the guys right behind him are battling amongst themselves. He gets a nice big lead on the second place car.
Todd, we keep this up, we're not even going to talk about it anymore because he's not even in the race. The race is for second on back.
All right, a little further back, there's Dave Whitlock after getting the break with that caution period, able to make the pit stop for a couple of fresh tires, and now he's going to have to work that car a little bit harder. Currently battling and picking up the 6th spot from Ron Sheridan. Is Whitlock going to have enough time to get back and fight with those leaders?
Well, them fresh tires with so few laps to go. Oh, crash off of turn 2. We got the 20, the 42, the 44, and the 86, all with previous crash damage, and they are at it again.
That's Mark Swain getting the number 20 GE Nighthawk Chevy turned back around, pointed the right direction, and also out of the Dave Dodaro stable of cars from Mid-America, Sean Stafford of the Ellie Walker transport car. He's stuck at the moment, and that brings out the caution once again.
Here we go, the Mopar replay with a speed shot up off of turn 2. Here they come. Oh, looks like Matty Tismaris actually started that, getting into the 42 and brought him around, and the 20, the 86, the 44 were just in it for the ride.
That's the 86 Midnight Sun Taurus of Kenny Forth making his way to pit road. More pit stops as well. Let's go down to Adam Ross for the call.
Dave Whitlock with the Avenue Motorworks Dodge into the pits. Peter Gibbons with the Canadian Tire Chevrolet. Also, a left rear tire on Dave Whitlock's car. The crew didn't get the lug totes onto the lug nuts, so they're having to manually put the lug nuts on the left rear of Dave Whitlock. That's going to take them a while. Peter Gibbons' car still up in the air on the right-hand side as the crew goes to work. No chassis adjustments on either machine.
Well, longer stop than normal. Hopper had trouble on that left rear tire. The lug nuts fell off. He had to put them on by hand.
Some final adjustments might be the last stop. Ron Beauchamp Jr. continues to lead. Welcome back to the Mopar 250 from Delaware Speedway. Ron Beauchamp Jr. continues to lead in the Mopar Parts Dodge Charger. He's led for the last 49 laps, charging all the way from back to front as we get ready for a restart on lap 194. That's Mark Dilley, who's right on the bumper of Ron Jr., headed out at turn number 2.
Well, I'll tell you what a finish this is going to be. The Mopar 250, the two top Mopar cars sponsored up front, and they're going at it for the last few laps here at Delaware Speedway.
Don Thompson Jr. in the home hardware car trying to get into that mix and get back up front. And J.R. Fitzpatrick with a nice run going as he's right behind Don Thompson Jr. as well.
Well, right off the break here, let's see if Beauchamp can stretch that lead back out. That caution kind of ruined the last good lead he had, but I think he's got a good car. He's not struggling. The car's nice and tight up off the corner, Todd.
Dave Whitlock, after another stop, seems to be making a little progress, picks up another tire, and now he's getting caught up in some lap traffic now as he battles with Steve Robley, and Jeff Lapsevich knocks on the back door looking for 7th spot.
Little consequential contact off of turn 2 when you get into lap traffic here at Delaware Speedway.
Again, it's all benefiting Ron Beauchamp Jr. as they battle further back in the pack. He's trying to stretch out a little bit of space between himself and second-place runner Mark Dilley, followed closely by Don Thompson Jr. in third. As we go on board with the home hardware Monte Carlo, Don Thompson's got both hands on the left side of that steering wheel, pulling through the corners. He's charging.
He takes a quick look up in the mirror there. Really good hands in the steering wheel. Nice and smooth. The car seems to be hooked up, but I don't know if he's got enough for young Ron Beauchamp Jr. here today at the Mopar 250.
Pete Gibbons and that Canadian Tire team have been chasing the handling on that car all day long. Adam Ross has an update.
They've had a loose condition going into the turns. They've adjusted on it. They think there might be a braking problem on the car. Too much rear brake makes it a real handful for the driver to hang on to it going in. Well, I'll tell you what, here at Delaware Speedway, you get into the corner so hard, if you've got too much rear brake in the car, it just snaps it around loose, and then you got to chase it up the racetrack. Not a real comfortable thing here at Delaware Speedway.
Battling brothers here for the 8th spot. That's Jim Lapsevich in the 25 and Jeff Lapsevich in the 23. Tim Horton Chevrolet, that's 8th spot, and these two have had a pretty solid run. A good run for them, but how about the run of Ron Beauchamp Jr.? Continues to lead here as we get towards the late stages. And that Mopar Parts Charger, he's charged from 30th all the way up to 1st.
I'll tell you what, they've had a really good run here at Delaware. Just got to keep the car clean with a few laps here left to go. Could be a good day at the Mopar 250.
Beauchamp has managed to put a little distance between himself and Mark Dilley, the second-place runner. Don Thompson Jr. has also backed off a little bit in that home hardware Chevy. Good run for J.R. Fitzpatrick, currently 4th.
Well, young JR's got a brand new Mike McCall race car underneath him. They struggled a little bit in practice and qualifying, but I'll tell you what, they got her dialed in come race day.
Dave Whitlock picking off another position as he tries to charge back up toward the front. He's now up to 6th and having a pretty good run, but nobody's having as good a run as Ron Beauchamp Jr. right now. Continues to lead. A little space between himself and the 2nd and 3rd place cars.
Well, the battle is really going to be for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th here as Don Thompson Jr. tries to put some pressure on Mark Dilley in the number 9 Mopar Dodge.
Things continue to string out just a little bit at the front of the field. Ron Beauchamp Jr. with a smooth ride so far in 1st. battling brothers continue. Jim Lapsevich in front of Jeff Lapsevich, and not much left of the front grill area of that 23 Tim Horton Chevrolet. He's been working it pretty hard.
Well, Jeff last year was Mr. Consistency, run up in the points all year long, didn't put any marks on the race car. He's making up for it in one race.
Ron Beauchamp continues to lead at Delaware Speedway. Welcome back to Delaware Speedway. Ron Beauchamp Jr. continues to lead the Mopar 250 in the Mopar Parts Charger. He's followed by Mark Dilley in the Dodge Charger and Don Thompson Jr. in the Home Hardware Chevrolet. 41 laps to go. Ron Beauchamp Jr. trying for his first victory in almost 7 years. Still a long way to go in this one, though, with more than 40 laps remaining, and he'll have a fight on his hands before the end of it.
Well, Thompson all over Dilley. They're getting in lap traffic. Dilley's going to try and get around the top side, keep Thompson pinned behind the lap car, and that'll keep him in check for this lap as we go through this. Beauchamp, he's already through the traffic. He's going to get 4 or 5 car lengths as they head for the front stretch.
That has been the way over the last 50 or so laps. Ron Beauchamp Jr. is able to pull out a bit of an advantage whenever there's lap traffic or cars behind him battling for one another. Dave Whitlock also trying to make his bid to get back up to the front, again battling with Ron Sheridan for the 5th spot.
Oh, that's a great fight for 5th spot. Whitlock drives it in deep in turn 1, moves Sheridan up a little bit, comes off turn 2 with a spot.
Great move by Dave Whitlock to pick up another spot and continue the charge back toward the front. At the front, it's still this man, Ron Beauchamp Jr. with a strong run. Adam Ross has caught up with Ron Beauchamp Jr.'s brand new crew chief this year to see how the number 60 car is doing in the late stages.
Well, we're with Chris Kuvion, crew chief on the number 60 Mopar Charger. Chris, it was a tough start to the day, having to drop to the back. Can Ronnie keep that Mopar out in front till the end of this one?
Well, we'll soon find out. He's very happy with the car right now. I'd like to thank Mopar. We had a little problem in that attack there. I'd like to thank all the guys for their hard work over the winter. Beauchamp Motorsports, I appreciate all the help, and I know our driver can get the job done. Thanks.
Well, I'll tell you what, young Kuvion there, deep in history. His dad Lenny was a fixture at Windsor Speedway in the 70s and 80s. Run a lot of laps against him up there. Good people.
Ronnie getting a little aggressive as they come out of corner number 4, but still overall pretty smooth in that Mopar Parts Dodge Charger, looking to bring it home for a victory in the Mopar 250. Dave Whitlock in the number 39 Avenue NMT Dodge has made his way by J.R. Fitzpatrick. He's now up to 4th spot. His next target is Don Thompson Jr. Billy, he almost got caught out on pit strategy, but it seems to be working out. They've been slapping tires on it, and he's headed to the front.
Well, it's going to be tight, Todd, but I'll tell you what, he's only got a straightaway to make up. He's got 2 fresh right side tires, and he knows his way around this Delaware Speedway.
Ron Beauchamp Jr. continues to work the lap traffic. That's Whitlock's teammate in the number 9 Dodge, Mark Dilley, followed by Don Thompson Jr. in the Home Hardware Chevy. He'll be heard from before this day's out as well.
Well, we're riding on board with Don Thompson Jr. See, he's still a little bit steady on the wheel there. The car's doing everything it's supposed to do, and he's looking in the mirror waiting on Whitlock.
This is the battle for 9th position. That's Pete Gibbons moving around Jeff Lapsevich, and John Fitzpatrick also in that battle as well with Gibbons and with Lapsevich.
Oh, Gibbons showing a little damage on the right front there as well. Probably picked that up running through lap traffic after they made those pit stops. Put left side and then right side tires on that car.
Mark Dilley still holding off Don Thompson Jr., but Dave Whitlock has made up an awful lot of ground in a short period of time. Pretty soon, Thompson is going to be the sandwich between Whitlock Motorsports teammates.
Well, I'll tell you, if he can get through there, that'll be the top 3 all Mopar cars here at the Mopar 250.
That'd be quite a finish here at the Mopar 250, but Don Thompson Jr. still looking for a way around Mark Dilley. He was having a quick peek to the inside there, but now we've got a car around that Steve Robley, who's gone up and touched the outside wall. Caution is out.
Oh, the Grogan Ford Taurus sat dormant all winter because rumor had it Steve Robley was going to retire, and they popped back out. This is a local racetrack for them, and Steve's won a ton of races here.
Great deal of success for Steve Robley here. Ron Beauchamp Jr. is looking to have success on this day. We'll see if he can do it. Just 13 laps remaining in the Mopar 250. Can Ron Beauchamp Jr. hold on?
Ready. Green.
The Mopar Dodge down the front stretch. Ronnie Sr. builds that horsepower and let the boy know when to turn it loose. Up off of turn 2, he grabs himself a couple car lengths over Mark Dilley.
And Don Thompson Jr. under pressure from behind from Dave Whitlock, Mark Dilley's teammate. And Whitlock is trying to make his way around the outside of Thompson and get on the back bumper of Mark Dilley so they can both charge toward the front and try to pick off Ron Beauchamp Jr. Whitlock gets the spot.
Whitlock very strong, Todd, around the big side at Delaware. 200 laps into this race. Pretty greasy up there. Those fresh tires are really starting to show up now.
Now teammates nose to tail, Mark Dilley in front of Dave Whitlock, both trying to chase down Ron Beauchamp Jr. Only 11 laps remaining. Can Beauchamp hold off those two other Dodges and pull out his first victory since 1998?
Well, it's looking really good right now, Todd. If he just keeps that thing smooth sailing, turn the mirror up, Ronnie. Don't look back. Listen to the spotter and drive that baby like you stole her.
Beauchamp is managing to keep his distance between Mark Dilley and Dave Whitlock, and Dilley moves aside to let his faster teammate through and see if he can let the boss run down Ron Beauchamp Jr.
Well, a lot of money at stake here. You know, this is a Mopar race. There's contingency money paid out from Mopar on how high up in the podium you can finish, and I think there's a little bonus if you can win in a Dodge as well.
Yeah, Dodge could be paying out an awful lot of contingency money if the finish ends this way. A great crowd here on hand at Delaware Speedway enjoying a terrific battle, and Thompson having his own battle now with Mark Dilley as he gets him a little sideways.
Well, we're getting down to crunch time now. Friends are out the windows. Rubbin ain't racing no more. It's payday and points, and you got to pick up all the points you can here in the CASCAR Super Series.
Thompson trying to fight his way past Dilley again and regain a podium position. Dave Whitlock has put a little space between himself and his teammate Mark Dilley, and Dilley's a little bit high. Thompson looking inside.
Wow, into the side of him coming up off the corner. He does let him straighten up the best, but he's still going to try and look inside. Dilley, you got to keep that thing in the bottom all the way around. Use that Mopar horsepower down the backstretch. Really loose up off of 2. He could give Thompson a look down the backstretch.
Thompson looking to the inside of Mark Dilley in that number 9 Dodge Charger. J.R. Fitzpatrick also right behind his teammate. A little further back, that's Jim Lapsevich being chased by the number 52 of Ron Sheridan. That's the battle for 6th position. Pete Gibbons also in that fight right behind the number 52 of Ron Sheridan.
Gibbons, what a veteran there. He was trapped in behind the lap car. Just moved Lapsevich up. Had to tap Ronnie Sheridan a little bit just to steal the spot and muscle his way into that position coming up off the corner.
Dave Whitlock trying to chase down the leader, Ron Beauchamp Jr. A bit of a gap, and then his teammate Mark Dilley trying to hold off Don Thompson Jr. He's getting a little bit squirrely off the corners now as he charges hard in the late stages.
Well, here we go off of turn 4. 4 laps to go this time by. It's all Mopar up front.
Dave Whitlock trying everything he can to close that gap between himself and the front runner of Ron Beauchamp Jr., but still too much space to try to make a pass. Mark Dilley, a bit of a gap now back to the 4th place car of Don Thompson Jr. in the Home Hardware Chevy, but Thompson closes it up between 3 and 4 and puts a little bit of extra pressure on Dilley now as they come down the front stretch and again battle into turn number 1.
Young J.R. Fitzpatrick just sitting there waiting to see what happens here. These two guys could get into it, and he could pick up 2 spots all in one shot.
Thompson not really rubbing the back of Mark Dilley, but getting about as close as you can without giving him a push through the corner as they continue to click away the closing laps here. Thompson pressuring to the inside. Ron Beauchamp Jr. with a good lead over the 2nd place car of Dave Whitlock, trying to bring this one home.
There we're riding on board with Ronnie Beauchamp Jr. right about now with 2 to go. You can hear every noise inside that race car. It's 1 to go this time by. Nice and smooth. Spotter will be on the radio telling him no threat from behind. Hit your marks. Stay away from the lap cars. This is going to be a great win for Mopar and Ronnie Beauchamp Jr. here today at Delaware Speedway.
Little bit of wiggle from the lap traffic, but Ron Beauchamp Jr. gets around him through the final couple of corners. Out of 4, headed to the checkered flag. Ron Beauchamp Jr., your winner for the first time since 1998. He wins the Mopar 250.
Oh, a jubilant crew on pit road. It's been 7 years since this Mopar team won a race.
Lisa Westlake with congratulations for Ron Sr. and old friend Fletcher. We'll be back for the celebrations and interviews right after this. Ron Beauchamp Jr. of Windsor, Ontario captures his 3rd career victory here at the Mopar 250. 30 CASCAR late models roar to the green flag. Thompson led early while Mix catapulted his way to the front. The Whitlock fans were cheering as their man put his Dodge up front and led the most laps. heartache for some of the top runners fixing early season gremlins. Beauchamp charged his way to the lead from last place, followed by the Dodge of Dilley. The young guns had their hearts broken here at Delaware. Swain, Stafford, and Shepard shook their heads in disbelief, while veterans Stu and Steve tried to survive. Teammates Witt and Dilley stayed strong, but they couldn't keep up to the Mopar punch of Beauchamp and his crew on this day. The number 60 Mopar Charger of Beauchamp and crew went from last to first in the opening round of the 2005 CASCAR Super Series.
It's been 7 long years since this crew's been to victory lane, but here they sit, the Mopar 250 winners here at Delaware Speedway Park.
That's got to feel awfully good to stand up there after such a convincing win. Here's Adam Ross with a winner.
Well, Ron Beauchamp Jr. hasn't visited victory lane since 1998 in St. Croix, Quebec. Ronnie Beauchamp Jr., the maiden voyage for the Dodge Charger. The day didn't start out so well for you, but how'd it play out?
Oh, it was awesome. My crew chief, Chris Couvion, I owe him a lot. He's been awesome. All my help, my dad's engines, Mopar for sticking with me for rough times, and I just gave him a good time back. This is awesome.
How special is it to get to victory lane in the Mopar 250 and the Mopar Charger?
This is the highlight of my career. It's the best thing I ever did, and I just feel great for all my sponsors and everything. Oh.
Well, a great run for Ron Beauchamp, absolutely, and the Mopar people have to be thrilled.
And there is a huge Mopar contingent here. Bill Steele, Bill Rowe, Rick Williams, Roy Westlake, so many others. Congratulations to all of them. As we look at the final results, Ron Beauchamp Jr. leads a trio of Dodges to the finish here at the Mopar 250. Some strong runs for a number of others. Brian Cathcart battles 2 flat tires to finish 12th. And Matty Sumaris is the top running rookie in the day. Let's go down to Adam with Dave Whitlock.
Dave, you made a late race pit stop. Did you think you could get that close to the leader?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we knew we had a good car. We ran up front and led laps all day. And this Avenue NMT Dodge, we got to thank Power Water and Eaton come on board this year. We had a great day. I mean, Mark's third, I'm second, and we got 3 Mopars on the podium. So, I mean, what a great day. Hats off to Ronnie Beauchamp and his team.
Oh, there's Ronnie getting a hug from Rick Williams. Rick started this Mopar program 12 years ago.
The celebrations are underway and will continue well into the night for the Mopar contingent. Ron Beauchamp Jr. sits atop the Castrol point standings. Dave Whitlock with his great run right behind. Don Thompson Jr. picked up the most points in qualifying, so he's currently third. Bill Steele is presenting the winner's trophy to Ron Beauchamp Jr. and Adam Ross is standing by with Mark Dilley.
Mark, a third-place run. You're in the heat of the battle all day. How's it feel to be third on the podium of all Dodges?
It feels great. I mean, I'm just happy for the whole Dodge Mopar family. I mean, it's been a long time coming for them, and they finally got their 1, 2, 3 podium at their own race. 12 years they've been sporting it. I think it's great again, and I just can't thank my guys enough. The guys Mobile One, Exide, Power Water, Leland Avenue, National Waste. I mean, it's just great. CRS. What can I say? It's a great day.
Well, there's Ronnie standing on the podium with the flag and the trophy. Pretty proud moment. All 3 Dodges on top of the podium today at Delaware Speedway at the Mopar 250.
Champagne corks about to pop. The celebrations really getting underway here at Victory Lane, and they will continue for this Mopar contingent with a 1, 2, 3 finish. There's the champagne shower, and what a day for Ron Beauchamp Jr. here at Delaware Speedway. The Mopar 250 has been brought to you by Mopar, authentic performance. Castrol Syntec outperforms all other leading motor oils. Home Hardware, help is close to home. And by CarQuest Auto Parts, proudly serving a world in motion.
Well, there's Ronnie Beauchamp. 7 long years to get to victory lane. What a way to start the year. We're off to St. Eustache, Quebec for the next race.
For Adam Ross and Billy Rouse Jr., I'm Todd Lewis. Thanks for joining us here at the Mopar 250.